Okay.
Hands off.
Uh,
Especially when you don't mean to. Yeah. So the top one's back.
Oh, it is, okay, that's what I was connected to.
2 minutes early.
See, now that Dr. Gary printed it out.
I'll let her read
Yeah,
it.
you got it. I haven't seen it. I wasn't here for that.
Wow, I got to see some people for the first time face to face. Where's Rebecca?
Same here.
I know.
Oh, yes, thank you.
Congratulations. All right, so go around here. Ready?
Stuck with me.
Anyway, good enough. Actually, almost there.
Hi.
Welcome aboard.
Mercedes.
You betcha, Mercedes. Betcha.
I told the staff, I said, I think we need to give Buck Tom a middle name, BMW. We need to have both cars represented.
All right. So just for clarification for our purposes, technically, Becky, you're still a secretary.
Okay.
But then after tonight, you're not. So in terms of taking notes and putting together the minutes, how's that going to work?
I can do it and send it to whoever wants to then present it to the board.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Appreciate it.
My final act.
Yeah.
Are you good? All right, here we go. So I'm going to call to order tonight's board meeting for Montessori Peaks Academy. Tuesday, May 16th. It is currently 6:31. So first, roll call and declaration of quorum.
Different in person.
Mhm.
Very smooth.
Here.
Rebecca? Here. Brittany?
Here.
Justin?
Here.
Adam?
Here.
And who's at the end of the table? Emily?
Here.
And Elizabeth.
Here.
And I meet. We have quorum.
Thank you. So I'd like to go ahead and read the mission statement. It is the mission of Montessori Peaks Academy to achieve high standards of individual excellence by guiding the whole student through an exceptional learning experience based on the educational philosophy of Maria Montessori. I did not receive any community comments. Did anybody else? And nobody has signed up. Okay, so with that, we'll move on to the principal report. I'll give you the floor. That's you.
It does not say interim principal.
That's yours. Yeah, that's your thing. We're reporting underscoring.
Good solution, Jen. I like that.
I don't know that as well. It's certainly my pleasure to introduce Robin Wheatley. For those of you who haven't, you have a chance to visit with her. Had some connection with her over the course of the interviews, talking to her and sharing a little bit more about my perspective with the position. Same for the other and the other candidate. It was kind of an excellent position for the board to be in, to have a selection from two positive candidates. So, you know, because there's a lot of money, you could have two principals, but I usually would go with one. And I think you picked the right one. So, anyway, things are moving along. Like I said to a few people, May is an opportunity to feel what it's like to get started and then the momentum. It's kind of like surfing in the beach, and the waves just keep bigger, and you feel like you're going faster. And you just hope you can pull it out before you go crashing into the ground. We won't go crashing into the ground, but it's been pretty busy. When weather comes into play, you know, in terms of with field day, it's always a dilemma for your own personal schedule as well. There will be field day Thursday, Friday, irrespective of the weather. Hopefully it'll be outside, but if we have to be inside, we will. And we hope there won't be a tornado again 10 minutes before the snow. I thought everyone handled that very well. We still had our staff meeting, which was kind of interesting, and we gave parents the option, you could hang around if you wanted to stay in the hallways, and leave when you feel comfortable. But I'm not gonna have that staff meeting no matter what. Oh, yeah, that's right. We found that there's not everything okay with the roof. There were some leaks, especially around some of the units, even some of the units that were installed over winter break. The company came out, so we believe that things have been patched up, so that the leaking was primarily in Darcy's and Sachi's. Okay, Judy has
Those
some.
are small. And the company that Aspen that did the HVAC actually paid the large invoice for the energy.
Because it's under warranty still, right?
Well,
Or
because
workmanship?
it was their
Yeah,
care.
Yeah,
So,
That was it. It was like
so,
$2,000.
as far as damage or whatever you might take a look at, it was just some ceiling tiles that we replaced and we had those in the inventory, so we'll just continue to move on. It's kind of difficult. I left my, however this happened, I have no idea. The car I drive, I left the back window open. So what's going on with me? So one night, I wasn't pleasant that morning, but I got over it before I got to work. So. I didn't want to say I shared it in it once I got here, okay? I got over it, but,
Rainwater better than the sewer water.
you know, we've had no encores in terms of the sewer problem we had the month before, so that's been repaired as far as we know. All of our assessments are completed. They're on the way. I just got to report that all the dibbles have been done for those of you who have children with dibbles. I can't thank Aaron enough for getting that all done and done well. And the teachers taking care of business. One thing I did mention at the staff meeting was kind of a motto that I called "Stay in the Green." I even said that to the board member when she was here, and Reed and I were walking around. And by that I meant in terms of the performance framework that CD puts out. You want to stay at the performance level because they have colors right up at the top, and green is what you want, okay? Because then no one asks questions. Well, unless there's somebody within the community who wants to have a little bit of information, we take a look at it in terms of for the UIP. But as far as the state or the district is concerned, you're in the green, okay? But it takes some effort. And I have to say, I don't want to present it in a way where there's a conflict between doing that versus being Montessori, okay? I'm not asking anybody to be un-Montessorian about the realism of making sure that the assessments come through, and it shows that we're doing what we need to do, okay? But unfortunately, these assessments don't tell people what we're really doing. We're leaving that up to parents to tell us, okay? If we weren't doing very well, we wouldn't have kids in the school, in terms of what people believe Montessori was, okay? I've learned that over time is that it really is serving the community, but we also have to serve the district and the state in terms of some of those things, and I think we're on target. I took a look at the scores of the other Montessori schools. They kind of had a similar experience. COVID just didn't help, you know. The percentages were up in terms of overall in the 70 or high 60s, and all of a sudden down in the 50s. You know? So I think we'll rebound from that when I see some of the data that has been put together, and we'll just keep moving forward. Staying in the green. You know? But I'm not going to come up with a T-shirt and that's motto on the front. So anyway, I don't have to pay for it anyway. So, but other than that, some of our discipline issues in the primary side have certainly been reduced moving forward. We've worked with some parents closely in terms of where their child might best fit in terms of their needs. It's called HOME, a little bit more often than what you would expect, but we're working through those things. And then, of course, having Sophie on board this year to work specifically with community's health.
We also had a consultant that came in and worked
Yes,
with
and
the primary.
she will continue to work with us next year.
Okay.
That's correct. We still have some grant money in that respect.
Okay.
But we've got the key piece is we have an excellent primary team. I work very hard with the students and making that work. UPK looks good in terms of numbers, our overall numbers look real good. John has a survey on top of that. So that in terms of our numbers, our classes being full, yeah, we said, you know, I think we've kind of notched one down from what we said we could do, just in case we have to add a few more kids.
We met in March and had that discussion. So we had said a certain number for lower L and a certain number for upper L, and we're one down per class in upper L currently. But there are kids on the wait list and can be let in, but I think that there's reasons behind it at this point.
I believe there are. Okay. And certainly our numbers are right where they need to be, if we can go better as to what our budget is based on. It's interesting around PPR, this is the first time this has happened in my career. For one thing, it's about $10,000. And secondly, it was more than what was originally projected by the governor back in February.
You should see this,
I'm
like, is
talking
this
about-
right?
It's gone up twice. I mean,
You, look at my numbers, this is not right.
it might be 100 or 150, but
Tends
it's really important, okay? It's just incredible. So we'll ride the wave in terms of taking advantage of that while it's there. And I think part of that is that has permitted us as well to really make sure that as we implement the middle school program, starting off with our 7th grade, that we're going to do it right. I kind of like attribute to a family that they're a couple and they want to have 4 kids and they buy a 5-bedroom house. Even though they don't have any kids yet. Well, you got to make that investment on the front end, right? How many of you had to buy a house that because it became too small? We had twins. And we really realized that, you know, we only planned on 2, so all of a sudden we have 3 and the house didn't come in. So unfortunately, we lose. You know, I would rather take care of us in the front end. And I think we have, because we've been able to do that. North Campus, we will certainly report on that. I'm pleased that we're kind of back on track. Both of them. Because you have to have 2 tracks. You know, that's the same. So anyway, that's about all the principal report. If you have something to share with me, I wish I had more to say, but I'd like this meeting to get over.
What's the enrollment number? Where are we at?
Aren't I terrible? Oh, I thought I ran that off.
I just didn't see it in the packet, so
No, I don't have them.
You know, I thought I ran it off, but I didn't put it in my packet. I'll get it when
No.
we're putting on something else. Yes.
curiosity. It's always a question every week,
Yeah.
once the window closes.
It'll change by
I
tomorrow
know
morning,
everything.
when you open your emails.
Veronica will do that. It's by level, you know, in terms of the
Um, piggybacking on what you've talked about before, I totally do the North Building update. With Great Works closing, there are some Montessori materials that they have to rehome. I talked to Tom about it. It's the ones that were donated by families from that charter school, not county money. So they're trying to figure it all out. They're trying to inventory the school. At this point, what they're looking at is the idea that we would get the equivalent of 1 classroom's worth of Montessori materials, because Compass would get some. There's one other school, so we get some. And so that's how they're going to divvy that up. Lower L, upper L, they have middle school materials. I said, oh, I really want those. I really want those. So we don't know the date. It'll probably be in June. Whether it's me working with folks here or calling on help from you guys, probably going to need a U-Haul and go get it and store it until we figure out exactly where it goes.
Well, you know, we took in students for free because we don't get any PPR for them, so I think it's okay for us to have those materials.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to split them as best they can, and I told Tom the day that I found out that yes. So Compass took on some kids, and people really got
Did you
distributed.
say each level, like lower and up, would each get one for class, like a whole classroom, or?
Worth of whatever they can donate
Okay,
out.
but for each, one for each level?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll need to inventory here, which I know the teachers typically do, if my understanding, and figure out where they need to go. I'll work with Beth on it.
Yeah, traditionally, they get their lists in,
We'll figure it
the
out.
past couple of years, they've tried to get their lists in, like, before they leave for the summer, but
Why can't we get the district stuff? Or you said some
So
of
if certain things were bought with district money,
Oh.
it has a different way that they work through that stuff.
Oh, okay.
But if it's specifically Montessori materials bought with charter school money, that's not district per person money, that has to be distributed to charter schools is how they're looking at it.
Where all the district money
So-
stuff is going.
I don't know, things that were donated by families in the school
Sure,
or,
yeah, but I just wonder where the other stuff is going.
you would think we'd buy this almost.
Like, could we buy
I
it
don't
even?
know.
is the furniture staying with the building? Like, they have
I
couches for their common area,
Don't know
and
their
they're,
details.
might
They're
be
trying
nice
to
for the-
inventory it
might be
all.
nice for the common area, middle school, yeah.
So I can-
It's nice furniture.
It is nice furniture. Nice.
So the building itself belongs to the Walter Foundation, and I don't know how
Yeah,
that
if it
splits
includes
up.
furniture.
Yeah, I'm not gonna worry about that part of it yet. So in terms of the north building, I asked for updates, and what's going on with permitting is it was originally, the permit was contingent upon zoning, but now that it's been so long, they want to relook at the plans and make sure they still don't have anything to say about it. Remember, they were talking about this last week. And they're expecting to have the permit by the end of the week.
Okay.
Because the first round of looking at it, they had no comments, so they're hoping there'll be no comments again. So hopefully we'll have the permit in hand at the end of the week. The bigger issue really is getting back on the subs schedules. So when the subcontractors go and get a different job, getting them back on our site can be difficult. So that process is already going, trying to get on all the subcontractors' schedules. They don't want to bring somebody in for a piece of work and then say, oh, we need 3 more days till the permit, and you can go and you can come back. So trying to get it all to go at the same time.
Have they proposed like a CPM, like a specific type of construction schedule where they build in different trades and
Yes,
how many
we
days,
have
if there's a
seen
rain
those,
delay, what they can do?
but it basically got scrapped,
Yeah.
and we asked them to put a new one together.
You did, okay,
They're
okay,
currently working on
okay,
Yeah.
they're working on that.
it. You know what's ready? The permit.
Yeah.
The absolute last thing we need.
Once you put it like ready to go.
Like, carpet's ready, sitting in the warehouse.
There you go.
Thanks.
All of the long lead items come in order though, right? Like the things that.
That's my understanding. Yep. And anything that was about to be ordered that we said, hold on, we need to make sure this will go through.
It's going to
It
be.
really is a contractor situation.
The other piece of it is we were working with DCS. DCS has been bought by NV5. So we will be working with the same people. The company was just bought by the other company.
And I worked with them at my last school, so I had no problem.
And we made sure they were approved by DEFCO, but they were just bought out. When you hear the other name instead of DCS, it's all the same.
Was it NV5?
NV5, whatever.
I don't even think it's an acronym.
Oh,
It's NV5.
so that's what's going on in the north building. Hopefully we'll see people there soon. So. Pushing. Emailing
Does
midweek.
the general contractor expect the same subs to be available, or are they gonna be? looking
Some,
at
yes.
different subs, or they got
I
something
don't
started?
know all who they had gotten.
Yeah, I know it's big, that we got, so I think it's safe to speak with people because they gave us a price. But I don't know what other people think.
Are they gonna have to rebid the job with subcontractors not being available?
I don't know. That'd be a good question.
That is
No, but we did tell them it's gonna cost a lot, a significant amount, we need to have it approved first.
Yeah.
We told
Yes.
them that, so.
If there was something that was not a big change in price, go, like green light. But if it was a significant change, because materials have gone up in price.
What does the contract say about the materials? Because a lot of contracts will say, this is what the materials we're bidding this job, not to exceed or maximum, whatever. It doesn't matter if the materials go up, but does our contract say that if the material prices go up, that they can automatically adjust that, or do we have to agree in writing to it, or like a change order or something like that? I would just keep an eye on that, because
wasn't that
they'll
part of our
just try to
maximum
push
price?
it through.
It was originally, but I think there was language in there about
prices, about the increase in materials. And I don't remember if it was required for, it seems like approval was required for a specific level increase. I can't remember what the.
Yeah, I can't
We're
remember,
like,
I
if
read
it's
so
like
many of them, I can't
$200.
read what I can't remember.
They'll hold us up for like $200.
We can ask on Thursday.
Well, and because they, you know, if they have to rebid subs, they're gonna say potentially it's because we caused the delay, but the delay was like 4 weeks, not 6 months, and so I think that their argument, if they try to go that way, is, you know, there's some pushback that we could have there.
You know, for building material, we didn't certainly go down.
Yeah, so maybe we'll.
They're not gonna pass that.
Anyway, just from experience, where they might try to push that. Don't wanna get screwed.
Yeah. And then we have the sidewalk, Venture Architecture had to work on that piece of sidewalk for the ADA stuff, and then get the engineers in there. Venture Architecture ate that 30 hours of work or whatever that they did, comped it. There was some cost for the engineer stuff. That was an additional on top of what we had already done with it. So there's North Building. I'd love to see what's being done. Committee reports. Let's go on the finance.
Jan, you wanna, we didn't discuss, so do you have any?
I have no issues with the budget. We're at almost a little over 83% of the year. And if you look at the main columns, we're high on revenue, a little bit high on salaries, but that'll get adjusted at the end of the year when I use some of my grant money.
You told me when I read.
Yeah.
We're going
this
into
guy. The next is the purchase services, and like I said, I might have to move, well, I will have to move money from here and there, but at the end of the grouping, I think at like 84%, so that's practically spot on. And lastly, materials and supplies, we're a little bit high at 91, but a lot of that's front loaded. We've done all of our snow and stuff like that. So this is through April. I want to really start looking at what we can, I can run a report as of right now, the bills I paid and the money we spent. Because we want to start looking at, okay, we want to do this with this budget versus next budget. There's a couple projects around the school that need to get taken care of.
Did the carpet get approved? I can't remember if we approved redoing the carpet for the main building. That's
No.
been
I've heard
that's
about
been
that
waiting
too, but
for-
there's never been a line item, but when I have a number to tell you guys, you know, we'll discuss, these are the things, we're on carpet, Nick wants help with the weed control. Like I said, we gotta figure out if this roof, is it just patched, or do we need to start a contingency for the roof? What do we want to put across the street, you know, part of that reserve, so.
More of that reserve fund.
But we're definitely in a good position. I want to see what's left so we can use it.
Did carpet last year, carpet and some tile, did we not? Or was
I
that
don't
in the main
remember.
hall?
I think they've been asking for 5 years.
I know, I thought so too, and I thought we did
I thought
some.
we said yes.
So they did the main office when they did the
Oh, just the main.
whatever.
Okay.
But not the
Everybody's
hall.
complaining about the carpet. I'm like, it looks fine. Apparently mine's new. And I don't get on the ground, so it doesn't matter. I'm like, really? The carpet? Have you been out of school? Okay, so, but yeah, Judy said, and it's a whole thing, like, it's not just the carpet, it needs to be like realigned, because she has the only room with the straight line, so I'm hearing all kinds of things, so.
Yeah, they, instead of going straight like this, the tile and carpet goes like this.
They
and
can't
it's-
stand
in
it.
classrooms, it's, yeah. It has to do with, I think, with the architecture of like the buildings, you know, the peaks, the mountains, and they kind of continue that into the classroom, which.
They're not straight lines. So, but we'll come up with a list of.
So does it look like if it says we're at 84%, is there a lot of back-end costs at the end of the year that we think, because
84% is trucking right along, because that means next month we'll be at 92, and then we have one more month, and we don't really spend a ton. There's not people, you know, I'm absolutely not buying school supplies at that point.
So we're looking to end up pretty much like we thought. Good, okay.
One other thing we'll be looking at operationally, I talked with Heather a bit. We're still continuing to work out what do things look like within Teletech, which is managing our IT system and everything else. And that, I really want to get the camera system. We've got cameras that are there, that it's not working. We don't even know where they're connected. If we have to download something from the camera, for someone working, we're not exactly sure where we download that thing. So it seems silly as it is, that's how it is. So we're gonna work with someone to take a look at what will it take to get the camera system really where it should be at the school. Placements as well as coverage.
We also want to incorporate cameras over there. And so we talked today that maybe we'll purchase the equipment now and then pay for installation with next budget.
So those are some things to take a look at.
Maybe they're just wrapping the installation to the scope of work that we're doing.
I know. They wouldn't even wrap in the $2,500 antenna to go from one side to the other.
So that will be another operational expense. But we know that there's going to be some transfer of dollars from one account to another, but smoothing it out, so, it looks like at the end of the year, it's 100%, or 98%, whatever. So there's some ups and downs we have to manage in terms of the budget. But from my look at it, I feel good about it. Just make it do well.
And then just so everybody, at the end of the year in June, when that budget closes out, then whatever the balance goes into reserves. So we didn't have any savings or reserve account this year in the budget, so that would effectively act like that. Okay.
I can add one. I'm doing another budget. I mean, we just did a revise. When I do my final, when I move these things around, instead of it going to reserve, I can put it in contingency.
Oh, in that special account that the district gives you? To me, I mean, my opinion is it doesn't matter where the money goes as long as it's dedicated to not being spent.
Well, when we see what we have, we'll decide.
Yeah.
So Brittany, this is 100% goes to contingency account or this reserve account. And then next year actually have a budget quite specific.
Exactly. A line item, putting away money, yeah. It's it's only $50,000.
But knowing that things like the roof will eventually lead to.
Like, we didn't know if they had to sleep here. Because there was a bucket in Darcy's room and Darcy was freaking out and it was that, it was supposed to rain all this week, but it really rained all last week.
That's not uncommon.
Our school has
Roofs are not.
in the library.
No,
I know, but all the Montessori items were gonna be damaged. It was very high stress. You were there.
Well, that's why we have insurance.
Well, that's true. We're still in the deck, so who cares?
And they'll cover anything.
Yeah, right.
That's
Oh, I'm glad I forgot.
like curious. I know where you're something happens.
That's getting discussed with the district. That's a question about, the district can use their money, why can't charter schools, why do they have to keep it with the district? Which is what their answer, their pat answer, not only pat, their standard stock answer is, no, you gotta keep it with us. But really, if you read the charter, yeah, there is,
Yes.
JCSC, there's an interest in discussing that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's
So
part of
it
being our
would
own.
make more sense
Yeah.
to seek an interest
Road
rate
account.
account.
Yeah,
See
where you have control over your,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for next year.
So we could collect interest in somebody else's.
But we're with the district. There's
It's different.
part of the conversation that we're encouraging.
It sounds like a lawsuit.
Any other finance questions? Anybody what they're seeing? Going once, going twice? Gone. All right, moving on to marketing. Becky, Justin, do you guys have anything?
I need a sign,
That'd be all
guys.
nothing. Do you have anything?
I need a sign.
For what?
Get on the list, we're gonna make a sign.
No,
Or-
okay.
No, I need verbiage for now enrolling, or I want to, the banner.
Everyone said, I never saw it.
Just saw it last week, it was on the fence.
Yeah, there is one.
Yeah.
It's been there for
It's been there,
years.
it never
Yeah,
goes
but there
down.
was another one that we were gonna put up, and Nick was looking all over for banners, and it was around open enrollment time, like
Is
Christmas
it
break.
just an enrollment time?
Are we gonna put it up in Richmond?
Well, the other question is, we make them to come out, is that a time where you get the sign where
As soon as Nick gets the parts for it.
Oh,
he'll
they've
been
get it.
ordered.
Oh, he told me Christmas he got it.
Yeah, no, he got the part.
No wonder.
He's got it.
Go talk to Nick.
Well,
Poor
it's
Nick,
not for
poor
lack of
Nick.
work. Right
Yeah.
now, he's got a busted wrist.
Oh, no.
That he did here.
Oh, no.
So, and he has only missed an hour here and there to go to the doctor, so he's a rock star.
Turning ladders and.
He's really, yeah, he's really been great.
Well, I offered if he wants to hand it a book or something, I'll go and figure it out. So
I can help do that.
a lot of opportunities.
Are you talking about the side?
The digital stuff.
Like the digital, yeah.
Oh, yes, that's
And
right,
I
that's
told
maybe
you
I
right
can
here.
work out. Yeah, that
So
was
is
kind
Nick
of
still
an
gonna get
aspiration.
some distance? We were talking about that previously. Is that in the works still?
Okay. Okay.
Starting in the summer?
Is it your nephew?
Sorry?
No.
No, I thought it was a great opportunity, but he wants to stay close to his mom. Even though he's 28.
I see my
Kids
kids
need
okay.
It's okay.
All you have to do is mow the lawn.
Okay.
So, we don't have any plans if, we wanted to do something across the summer again, like we did last year, with response to the concerts. Maybe that was over $500, but turnout was, okay.
Well, the point was to enrollment.
Yeah.
We got enrollment.
But do we measure that?
From Plymouth Park?
Hasn't.
Are you talking about that?
Yeah, so that was,
I thought it was a great turnout.
it was a great turnout, but we didn't get, I don't think we got students out of it, like, I don't think it drove enrollment, but it would be nice, we had talked about doing things that were good for engagement to keep our families. So I liked the idea of doing activities here at the school over the summer and partnering with the PTA so that we could retain the families that we have. Because I think too, we have a lot of new families coming in, it would be really nice if they could build community before we come. So I would still volunteer to help, but that's
So,
something.
yeah.
What about like movies in the gym?
So, Great Work did a summer play date series where every other week or something during the summer they went to a different splash pad or pool or something and just said, we're all going to be here on this date at this time. And so people could go and like meet, and it was no facilities from the school had to be like open or closed or anything, and that was really nice.
That would actually be helpful because even if you use the field here, you still come back.
Yeah.
I think that was the goal originally of the park series, was they had the Thursday night concerts, but then it's hard to mingle and meet other families, because I remember there were families that came up and said, you know, we'll be new students next year, where do we find the other kids? And I'm like, on a playground maybe, so if we could do something like that where it was kind of
It's exposure, it just seemed really light exposure, we're so far back from the concert area, people would come up and just be like, what are you guys here for, what are you about? And we didn't have near the drag that the hospital had next door. So, you know, I thought it was like, if we could hand it, you know, we did we were handing out the icicles and that kind of thing, it was fun. But I think, honestly, the most effective thing I've seen since I've been on that committee was the direct mailing. That was awesome. I'd like to make that a really part of our marketing. And then I think the summer gets together, I'd like to talk to you more about the splash pad ideas. Movies in the gym is a great idea too. So maybe we do some summer activities, bring families together. There's really two different lanes there. There's the gathering of families already enrolled, and then there's enrolling the families. So I would love to let the direct mail with a little more planning instead of the.
Well, it's in the budget for the direct mailing. I kept it the same. And as far as people being here during the summer, we will have that person to clean, so facilities would be available. And I think it'd be great to team up with the aftercare summer camp, because they can maybe host the kids in a movie and the parents can mingle and, you know, have Beth come and speak, or meet the new principal, those types of things. And
I forgot we're using the school this year.
summer, yeah.
Well, I mean,
touch base with how we're doing this.
Rebate's gonna get this idea, because it involves a brewery. But
Oh, yeah.
the tap house has that whole back, if you go to the tap house, the back area is set up with a giant screen, and it is family friendly. They've got the patio
I mean, you can
downstairs.
say we'll be here, you just can't say I'm buying as a board member.
That is only for supporters of our cause.
The problem is that in the summertime, some of them go down until 9 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
Kids.
Right.
It's really hard to make that happen.
Well, I think that's an outdoor screen though, because they do Rockies games, and I mean, they project on that.
That's what I mean without, oh, you mean like it's just like powerful enough? They have a
Right,
Yeah.
yeah,
strong
it's meant
projector.
to be kind of like an event.
Okay.
They have like picnic tables and
If
stuff
we
set up all the
could
time.
bring
Yeah.
the facility and host out there, or something,
Yeah.
do an MPA night. where
That
we do-
Korean place right next door is great.
Yeah.
For what it is. The Korean fried
It
chicken.
only takes one parent that's
That's-
hooked up and has
if you'd like me to-
a, there's a couple parents at the school that have that keep a text list of like 25, 30, and I'm still on it from a couple of years ago, and, hey, we're meeting up at Lily Go.
My wife did that.
We're going to main
They
event.
were playing.
Last week they went, no, we're going to main event, you know, and anybody that shows up, so it doesn't have to be so formal and sponsored, you know, it can just be more organic.
It's great.
Somebody's doing something. A lot of realtors host events there.
I'm sitting here. Try to get more, yeah. Justin.
It was just the open tab for parents now.
We're the ones enrolling.
First round on MPA.
Can't do that.
Oh. So I'm gonna designate you, Justin, then to work with.
With who?
PTA?
Oh, PTA, okay.
Yeah, I would work with them together.
Is that just Amanda I reach out to?
Well, when does that
It'd
turn
be
into?
Caitlin.
Yeah.
Caitlin Cohen.
So you start already starting with Caitlin?
C or K?
C.
Is it C?
Both C's.
Where's that?
Somewhere on the west.
It is warm in here, yeah. So I'm like, I'm
It's
getting
usually
from her.
cold in here. I was gonna email all
Kind
of
of-
you.
All right, so you're gonna work on that. I'm gonna move on so we get through everything. Grievance committee, we do not
Miss
have
that.
any new grievances.
Lister stuff. Go
Oh,
ahead.
Zach, sorry, go.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay. So staff met end of April. We had a parent survey that went out. We only got 53 responses, which seems low.
That is less.
So I'm thinking we might want to open that back up and get another email blast out to parents to see if we can get more folks to fill that out. There's also,
With QR code.
we did. I think we did. I think we did a QR code.
Caroline?
Do you remember, Veronica?
There was a QR code,
Yeah.
because Kaden came home with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which I then set aside.
There's also a kid survey
Wow. The kid survey?
Yes.
Fine here.
called Make Your Voice Heard survey.
Mhm.
And the notice went out to parents, I think, last week that was happening, and I think it's happening this week.
Yeah, there's a little bit of an update on that. The notice that you go out as soon as we hope, I think we'll take that home. So I'm talking with Aaron today and that survey will be the fourth, fifth, and sixth, or third, fourth, fifth. Part of the reason is we're running out of time. It won't be the second grade because you got to read it for the second grade. I'm hoping that our third graders will get enough readers to be able to manage it. So it'll be third, fourth, and fifth. And the teacher will do that as they have time to teach the class for that half hour. We've had to manage it on our own as a result of not being part of the district anymore. Only the sixth grade is part of the larger district making voice heard. So this is just make your Montessori voice heard, I guess, for just our students only. I think we'll be fine. We'll give us some data. You know, the original survey was like 60 plus items, and I think we're down to 23. You know, one of those small groups, so we'll do fine. So I'll play catch up a little bit these next couple, 2-3 days before the end of the year to get it done. We'll get it done.
Does that factor into the SAC assessment or?
I think the SAC gets the results of that,
Okay.
and then we review it. Same with the parent survey, the family survey. We get
Do
the
you wanna
results.
add like, maybe a raffle for like a free $10 gift card to Starbucks or something, if people fill that out, to get some responses in?
We hadn't thought of that. I don't know if we have
It's not
how
anything
we.
we've had to do in the past.
Yeah.
But
It's just like 53 seems so low, there's like 300 humans.
Yeah.
Let's get the sign set up. Put it on the sign.
your survey.
I know.
Yeah, the URL shortener too.
Like 130
URL shortener.
One third.
Oh, we have
At least
the
the corner.
QR code.
We tried to get theirs.
Should be better, right?
Yeah.
I feel like with the family survey though, we have time. It's not like the kid survey where we have to do it this week or next week. Like, we can
Have more time. Have it sent out again.
Yeah.
later this week if you can for your families and before people are like, yeah, school's over.
When do you review results in the fall?
I think so, over the summer, probably. I mean, I can see the results now. There's like a Google spreadsheet or whatever that has all the results that people fill out. So we just need to aggregate it and take a look at what the results were overall. But I expect, yeah, the staff will meet, I think, once over the summer.
We'll have it for the, obviously, because we manage that ourselves. We don't see it or something.
Yeah.
The district-
Yeah, Aaron will have all that.
It's another district one. Hopefully see it.
And the district one's just the sixth graders?
Yeah.
That's all I have for SAC.
So grievance, we don't have any new grievances that have come our way. As you can see, it says changing of committee members. So the way the grievance committee works for the board is there's 2 board members, and every 6 months somebody changes out, but once you're on it for a year. So I've been on the grievance committee. Justin and I started last June. He came off in December and Emily came on. So it's my turn to come off, and I need somebody to volunteer to come on June 1st. Any volunteers? You'll do it? Okay. So it'll be you and Emily. If a grievance comes in to the board, you'll look over it, and if something needs to be brought our way, you will, and hopefully you won't.
I know we were looking at updating the
I know.
policy.
I need to get
Is
that.
that something that we should
We'll
resurrect?
have to finish. Yes,
Yeah,
sorry.
okay. It's okay. You've had a lot.
I might call you, because you were part of writing it, and we had a specific question.
Well,
And then-
but the policy needs to be revised, right?
There was a specific question that we had for you about something that was in there, so I'll need to
Alright.
follow up on that
I
point.
think we had like a model from
From
another,
Tom.
yeah,
Yeah. Yes.
which was
we did.
really good and a
Yeah.
lot more streamlined. And so I think we're just
The
gonna mostly
big
follow
rule,
that.
everything addressed.
I think that's what they're.
That's what we were trying to figure
Yeah.
out.
It's kind of a infinity loop.
Take that
It
route.
just keeps going round and
Yeah.
round and never gets addressed. Yeah.
So it just needs to be finished. That's
So that's something maybe Adam and I can work on.
That would be awesome. Yeah. Okay, cool. So June 1st. Middle school committee. So, the program has folks enrolled. We have teachers hired. We have a backup plan for where those guys are gonna start the school year, because obviously it won't get done in time. They're gonna start in the temp building and share that with, homeschool. And then as soon as the building's done, my hope is October, like fall break-ish, move over to staff now. We have one hired, and you wanna kind of explain it?
You know, we've got a second one online, and we're figuring out, because she's a really quality person, and we want to make sure she's on board, so there's some personnel management to go through. But we're pleased, it's all part of, again, making sure that we have everyone on board that we have on here. Not only sell the program, but also implement the program. And I'm sorry, I should have mentioned that Elizabeth Lewis has been identified as the staff rep for next
Number
year?
10.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm getting there.
Yeah,
okay. Yeah, that was
Said
he wanted to go home.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna adjourn the meeting.
Good night.
So the last piece of the middle school committee part is that the middle school committee has been disbanded. I have thanked all the committee members, and we've moved the work over to the staff that's been hired to Beth to finish putting together the program. So that committee successfully completed that project. Monthly meeting attendance and updates. PTA, Becky, do we have anything that you need to know?
No, nothing additional to share, and Dr. Gary's probably been close in conversations with them. I know that they were talking about moving some of their funding around, and I apologize, I don't know where that went, but I don't know if you shared that.
There's a few things that's supporting us. We feel there's going to be some money for kind of a grant for the art program, helping Sam look into getting a generator. And the thing about providing some funds for the trail from our fence edge down to the pollinator garden, we're still working on that. PTA is very open to helping support that with some funding, but probably wanted to have a little bit more in front of them as far as planning and some pictures. And Lucinda's working on that.
She'll get it.
She's got a couple people that are working with a survey and some Google pics that are trying to say what would be the best avenue. We really don't want it to be as expensive as the original proposal. We just want it to be manageable and maintenance. We know there'd be some maintenance with the civil code. Yeah, I don't want to come back 5 years from now and find out there's still pollinator garden trying to be worked out for the trail to be set up. So, if there's anything, she's persistent. And that's okay. We've got B-Day coming up, real B-Day, actually Friday, and the nurse that we hired for next year, actually, thanks to Jen. She's also a bee person.
She's a legit bee keeper.
So she's she and Lucinda talking. They've agreed that the queen is gone.
They agree now?
Well,
Oh!
I haven't talked to Lucinda. She thinks there's still a queen, and Laura's saying maybe not, probably not.
Absolutely not. She's safe, so we're like, try to bring it to Lucinda.
So,
They stick around for the queen?
No, she takes it out, she said.
Oh, eventually,
They'll-
right?
if there's no queen, they
Apparently,
leave.
they have to do the medicine twice a
When they
year.
make a use.
Yeah.
Yeah, they can bring one in, but they, yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
so I think when I was here last time, we had to
Army queen, yeah. So we did it this last summer, so.
we'll do what we need to do. But,
And
I
we'll
vote
go
for
all
Brittany to be the
classes.
queen.
It was so funny because the new nurse came to either get her computer or do something. And all of a sudden, I look at her, I'm like, oh my God, you're a beekeeper, aren't you? Because I remember her once wearing a little bee necklace. She told me all about it, and of course, gives me the beekeeping. But I couldn't believe we just hired a nurse / beekeeper. Immediately went to talk to her Lucinda. It was perfect.
Well, I know the upper L class is looking at their bottom line and realizing their business model is not very productive. So my son's been hawking to coming home and saying, Mom, you really need to buy this bee stuff. You really need to buy money, whatever. So,
They're so
I told him, go outside and go to the neighbors.
I make a lot of money.
Thank you.
When do you know when the board for the PTA switches over?
They had a meeting last week,
They did.
the end of year meeting.
That's somebody you remember. I was thinking, I think they changed. I want to say, are you the new people or is it still the old? It's still right now, it's still the old. I'm trying to think if the new person takes over at the same time the budget year changes.
Oh, that would make sense.
Is what I'm thinking, is how that works.
Okay, and I know they were doing some work to get financials
And I don't know if it's June.
It's not the end of the school year. I
No.
don't think it goes with the end of the school year
No,
cycle.
it doesn't.
think it's January.
No, it'll happen over the summer.
Over the summer.
And it might be, well, it used to go, I believe, with the budget, like, the budget began,
July 1st.
August or July first, and that's when the new person took over, when the new budget kicked in, and that's kind of how that went. I think they changed the budget out, like, a year.
So I'm gonna move on to JCSC. Are you gonna stay with JCSC after?
Yeah, I agreed to do that. Because I was rolling off here, so I agreed to, so I wrote the newsletter, I wrote the top 5 or whatever that went out.
Okay.
With Jeff and.
So I went to the JCSC meeting that was last week. Dr. Gary was there as well. They shared the surveys that I put in your packet, and kind of presented the results. I don't need to go through those, you guys are capable of reading, but the main points were that a lot of people want to increase the communication with the district. A lot of people want to increase, say a lot of people, the schools want to increase the transparency of what's happening between the district and the schools. Where's the money going to? What are you funding with the 5%? You know, do we get some of that back if you're not funding everything? Before you cut something off, can we have more discussion instead of just a sudden hearing of change? Can we have more time? So meetings will continue with JCSC. We're trying to get as many schools involved with it as possible. Susan Miller was there from the district, and I can't remember the lady's name that was there.
Brenna?
Yes.
Oakland?
Yes, Brenna was there, right? It was Brenna.
The CFO?
Yes. And she admitted that there needs to be more discussion, more transparency, that things need to change, and that they moved really fast this past year. Slowing down a little bit may be beneficial. The other thing that Tom McMillan talked about was changing the framework that's going to be used in authorization processes, using more of what's in the national framework, and bringing that to the district. It's not done yet, it's in process, but at least he was open that they're looking at that and what needs to happen in the authorization process. Wanting to ask lots of questions, get as much information as possible before MPA has to do the next reauthorization.
Did they mention, I'm sorry, because I'm missing something.
No, you're fine.
Did they, so thank you for going, did they mention the Superintendent Dorland's committee or roundtable that she wanted charter schools to kind of serve on to address these issues? Like her proposal or her suggestion was like a month ago or whatever, have a committee that takes the work on of all of these issues about the 5% and whatever, and that charter schools would have a seat at the table on that. And I didn't know if that had come up from Tom, or, because Tom brought it up with me and said, get on it. Not me, but JCS, someone, get on it, right? And so I wondered if that came up at the meeting.
Not
It really
in that
didn't.
way.
I don't think
No.
Brenna was in a position to be able to speak to that.
Okay.
You could
Although
tell
there
that
was
she
some
felt
question
bad
about
about the things that had happened.
Was that gonna look?
Yeah.
Or is it gonna go? So that 5% of the just a perspective, when charter schools started out back in '96, they guaranteed charter school 80%. So just think about how far it's come in terms of what it was. But there's still some room to grow. And I brought up my pet peeve around specific membership tax, SAP, which is a revenue stream that has not been shared by any district around the world. And it could amount to, I don't know, $80 million a year. But it's never talked about. It's just kind of, I take that personally. People don't, okay, just go away, you know. But I had the opportunity, so I figured why not.
So there may be some opportunities with the district for somebody from our board to represent us, to be a part of conversations. We're gonna have to keep our eyes and ears open to any communications. Feel free to contact us and let us know if it comes your way too.
You're on the mailing list, right?
I know.
Well, it's moving in the right direction. It's getting revived, and that's important.
Yeah.
We got some good people running.
And the other thing that happened was we had the president of the Colorado League of Charter Schools came and he did a legislative update for us. What I wanted to recommend with that is sometimes I forward those to the board. Instead of me forwarding it every time I get one, I'd really rather everybody join Colorado League of Charter Schools. It doesn't cost anything, and then you'll get the emails directly. You can decide when to delete them and when to refer them instead of me trying to figure that out. I think it would be good for everybody to be a member of that, and it's free, and they do have some free online trainings, which we get to, that I want people to utilize. So if you're not a member already, please join. It's easy, it's fast, I think it's between 5 minutes.
Yeah, it doesn't cost anything.
Less.
Yeah. It's just declaring that you're
You're part of
interested
our board.
in this publication.
Board calendar, Justin.
I still have from March, update board orientation handbook, which we were gonna review, you and I, is that still in planning or?
No, I didn't do it as an official book. I gave certain people some extra documents, and we'll do more training stuff.
Strike
When-
that in as one,
Deferred.
Does that mean no changes for next year? Is that what that means?
I'm not making changes right now. Okay. Next year.
Because the handbook goes out over the summer, so that's why there was.
Oh, no, that's board orientation.
Oh, the board orientation. Oh, right. I thought you
No, we
meant the
gave me
school
the
handbook. I'm like, no, we can't do that.
I don't even have a description. Are you kidding?
March, we were to complete the parent and staff surveys. Was the parent one out? Is that?
That's what Emily was talking about.
Yes.
Okay, great. So that's all completed as of last week.
Last 2 weeks.
All right, great.
Real quick, ETA said that they changed over 7-1, so it's just our fiscal year.
I think the staff one is different. Who handles the staff survey?
The VP.
Okay.
Yeah. So we can only.
Veronica sent it out to staff
Results.
Maybe by the end of the school year.
Before
We
they,
should probably
before
do it
they
before
check
the
out,
year.
before they check out.
It has to be done.
It's a month, yeah.
Everybody was gonna wrap.
Not mentally, physically, from mobility.
They have to do it. Some clarification there, please.
So it went out May 11th, I believe. They had until noon on May 24th, so the
Yep.
results are in 2 days before the school year. So do we need to publish the results
No.
the last day or
Those
what?
only go to the board.
Yeah, only on the board.
Not any school I've ever been at.
They just go into your strategic plan.
Okay, great.
And
So,
we've utilized them in years past, like in the summer session, and we kept the questions the same, so we could say, you
Right.
know,
No,
year
we
over
just-
year,
yeah,
yeah.
I just need to, I guess, collect them, but I'm
Yeah.
sure somebody has access to them.
A couple of our initiatives came directly from that feedback.
So it's board only access, and it's stays confidential.
Got it.
Sometimes you can tell who wrote the comment and it shouldn't go out.
Reviewing the strategic plan progress, is that just ongoing?
Yeah, we're gonna work on that over the summer and talk about how we wanna attack that. Have some ideas.
Let's see. April review survey results, that's from SACWA.
They did. They're working on their stuff.
April, review and approve annual charter addendum renewal with district along with district calculation of revenue and service expenses. That's what I want.
There's a one-page annual, if we want any new waivers or anything like that, there's usually like a one-page addendum to our 5-year contract.
I think that falls in the principal's code. I honestly don't know what this is, so I can look into
We
it.
haven't asked for new waivers, so.
Right.
I can send that, I can follow that up with you, Jim.
Okay.
I'll send you.
It might not, yeah, it might not this year if there's nothing of interest, maybe we don't have to.
Also in April, send previous quarter board minutes to the district. Conduct board of directors exit survey, you guys happy? Good? Okay.
I have something for them.
So I can call it complete?
It'll, yeah.
I won't hit enter. conduct annual board of directors retrospective.
That's sort of what that is,
That's-
yeah.
Okay, so that is.
I kept it
I'll
all
call
nice
that
and
complete
short and
in a
sweet
moment.
and helpful.
Grievance committee was handled, to Emily and Adam. And then review student fees and set adjustments.
So last year, I think it was a lot of miscommunication. Does the board really set the student fees? Do we need to approve them? Do we need to make changes? I think the question that came to me was, what are we gonna do with the 7th graders / middle school students that we take on? How are we gonna figure out where those need to be? My thought was sort of in the middle, with different types of schools comparatively. But in terms of student fees, we approved them last year, but then I got a mixed message. We really didn't need to do that. So I'm trying to figure this out.
And this is the registration fees that are paid.
My only request is that they get posted before registry. Like, so when parents register their students and want to pay in the summer, they can go in and pay and be done instead of waiting.
Yeah.
That's what I would like to
It
happen.
was challenging last year.
Yeah, until after July 1st.
Okay.
But if you guys need to approve, we haven't even talked about it yet, is I know we discussed middle school.
I don't think we need to approve that.
I think the
Will you
administration
approve, like,
tells
commission?
us when we develop the budget, or when we're looking at the budget, and what they need, what they think is best, and they make a recommendation, and if they want our input, administration can ask for it.
The only change I would see would be what fees might be reasonable for the 7th grade.
Yeah.
Because we're taking a little few of the different activities, and I have to take a look at what's charged at other schools combined. So it's gonna look much the same. I think going through the budget, there was no question of pressure to say, hey, we need to charge more.
Yeah, I use the current numbers, or current fees.
And I'd say you basically have our approval unless something changes.
You have it, even though you don't need it, but let us know if you need something.
Got the approval until you don't.
Works for me.
Notify district of existing directors and add new directors. Who does that?
There's someone, who's
I
your
can
contact at the?
Sherry LaChance.
Okay, so she needs all the new
Yeah,
emails.
and I have a form that I can send off. So-
And you gotta sign it, you need to start board, or it used to be, but now we're not doing board emails for Justin, so I think you have.
It's like a Google document.
Yeah, okay, that's old school.
You'll want to
Well, once COVID happened.
Yeah.
Yes.
Update Google Drive permissions, present.
Update Google what?
Drive permissions.
So I don't have access anymore, and the new people do.
I was gonna wait till after tonight.
No. Before you call it.
I don't have signatures from people yet. Calm down.
I'm gonna go in there.
Becky said she's going
Justin, what was the date on that, new board people?
The notified district of existing directors, it says May, and last year there's no date that we ever got that. So it may have not been recorded, but it, yeah.
And that other thing was charter flex forms?
And the website, update the website, that should be.
We need to update the,
Oh.
update the Google Drive permissions. We need to update the contact list, the website, so I'm assuming that's Heather, right?
Mhm.
And then Jen, back to you, send letters to EDB, AP, and C, Zions Bank, assuming you're on business next week, and district with new board officers and signatures. The banks are crazy.
But we're different now, so I
You're
don't,
gonna have to
we're
send
not
me that,
required.
I
Okay,
have a
I'll
list
follow.
from the district.
Well, was this the one that we didn't think we needed to provide anymore, but now we
Yes.
do?
No, I think it's the one we don't need to provide.
Because we said that like 3 times, and at least twice now we've been told we do need to provide. What was the last one we found? The Zion?
Because there was, I remember
I
when
had
we got
sent it
approved
to
for that.
PNC.
PNC still needs the quarter list.
Oh, yeah, but I thought you were talking about something different. The new board members, I thought you said.
So
their
send
names.
letters to PNC, Zions Bank, and district with new board officers and signatures.
Yeah.
Because there was that form that we had to sign earlier this year, and I thought that was considered prior finish.
No, that was,
Jen, we can see it.
no, that was in 5 years.
Send me something, because I don't have it.
Right.
Just, and if it's gonna take you 45 minutes to an hour to do it, just send it to them, and it's probably faster. Over paper then, if they don't want it, they can throw it in faster.
Yeah, I'm in the same form, I can email to district, the PNC.
Here you go, just for your FYI.
But you have to get the new
the form, I don't have the form.
Okay. I'll follow that with you as well.
We need to update our, you guys will need to update your letterhead.
And who's in charge of Google Drive permission?
I'll do it.
Awesome. That is.
Okay.
When are we doing the June board meeting? Would I go with the strategic, well, I'm just trying to get the calendar. I mean, is it that exciting? The Easter eggs we're finding? I'll wait. You tell me.
Find a date that works. All right, so let's move on to number 9. Becky, I'm gonna let you take over.
Okay. I love it when we're in person. All right, so did everyone have an opportunity to review the 2 minutes that I provided? The first is for April 6th, the second is for May 2nd. You'll see there is an addendum attached to the the April 6th meeting. That was because that was not recorded. However, our attorney was present and gave his statement, which is attached to that, so that's the reason for that. So any questions or concerns before we move to vote? I motion to approve the April 6th board meeting minutes. Okay, show of hands for those that were in attendance, which includes Terry, Adam, Irit, Becky, Rebecca, Brittany, and Emily. Justin was not in attendance for that meeting, so we're listening. Okay, that is unanimously approved.
Yeah.
Somebody didn't come.
What month was that?
And then the second meeting minutes from May 2nd of 2023, I would like to a motion to approve those minutes. And the entire board was in attendance, so all of those in favor of approving. Approved. Okay.
So number 10, if you want to do the announcement with Gary, you can.
He's already done it.
I know.
Spoiler alert.
So the staff actually had more than one person who ran for the board seat, and they voted. And Elizabeth is going to be staying with us.
That's so awesome that they had
I know,
several
right?
people.
That's nice.
Yeah. Congrats.
So the next thing that we're going to do is move on to election of officers for 23-24. Only those who have served on the board in this past year are eligible for the officer positions. The way that I want to do it is you can nominate and then, or volunteer, or accept the nomination if somebody's wanting to step up and say that they volunteer, that works. So, start at the bottom or the top? So I'll just start at the top with president. I will volunteer to take on the role for another year. What? Yeah,
Well, I don't think she can officially motion.
I can't motion.
I'll motion to
She's
keep her right where she is.
Okay.
Anybody want a second?
I will second.
Thank you. Don't let it slip.
So Justin, motion to appoint Irit as president. Rebecca seconded. All of those in favor?
Moving on to vice president. Is there somebody who would like to volunteer? I would like to nominate Emily to take on that role. So, if she's within a million. Yeah.
You have to.
You have to-
Oh, do the motion.
I
She
can't
can't
motion.
Oh.
I'm in this weird spot
I don't
where I
Oh,
can't.
all right, well, I would motion for the Emily to be a new bench president.
Second.
I'm the fourth of the
Yeah, you
treasurers.
can't go. Yeah, you are.
There's no vote on this?
I
You
was
start at the
told.
bottom.
I override and I motion to write a new rule in the bylaws.
You know the most about it right now.
All right, and the vote for Emily to take the vice president position for next school year? Okay, up to you, if you want. Okay. And for the treasury position,
And Justin spent this whole year
Learning, right?
I went to a treasury meeting one day, and next thing I was in. A bad game of tag. I'm gonna play that game next week. Come on.
train your replacement.
Yes, that's
I'm
right.
gonna introduce you to
You have to train your
Yeah,
replacement.
that's fine.
Okay, so I will motion to appoint Justin to the treasury position for the board for the next school year.
Your phone has been disconnected.
You're trying
Can you hold it right now?
All right.
Trying to reach his number.
All of those in favor of appointing Justin?
He didn't vote. He abstained.
You abstained.
You didn't call for a nay.
Nay vote?
That's one of the things for a nay out there. Know who your enemies are, right?
Okay, and then the secretary position.
Do you have any people who would like to volunteer? I mean, I would like to recommend Rebecca for it, but I haven't spoken to her, but.
Can I talk to Becky more about that later in the slide, or do you need to do it right now?
Yeah, I kind of do.
Okay.
Essentially, it's just, you take the minutes at a meeting.
I can manage that.
And that's how you might.
No.
Wow, you do.
Wow. She does so much help. It's the secretary, really. You know.
That's the main.
The role of the
If you're
secretary.
understand this.
Yeah. Again.
She'll come back and
call
talk to you.
I told her it's automatic
Okay,
marketing.
our
for
kids
the
are in the
two
same
right
class,
there.
I'll do the whole thing.
We need to work in some other tech stuff.
Okay, so I will motion that Rebecca be appointed as secretary. Okay, all of those in favor? Any
So new member onboarding and those for completing. So everybody in the packet that I gave you, who is remaining with the board or joining the board, you have your board agreement form, and I would like us to start having. It's different because you're the staff person, so it's okay if you okay. Because you're specifically the staff rep. Okay. So you have to work here to be the staff
I was
rep.
like, it says.
I mean, if you want to put a note at the
I have to
bottom,
resign. I was like, well, okay, we got a problem.
so,
Thank you
what
for
I
your
would
service.
what I'd like to start doing is having everybody who's on the board do it yearly. And then those who are leaving the board, I gave you a little sheet with 3 questions, if you wouldn't mind taking a look at it and getting that back to me, whether it's tonight or another night. So, I want those all signed and back in so I can sign them, so I can get Gary to sign them, and I can move on with everything that needs to be done. Are you refusing to fill out the form?
I'm gonna really write like I'm gonna write like paragraphs.
Like an attorney, and I won't be able to understand it. So, as people are working on that, I also wanted to take a couple of extra minutes to thank Brittany for all of her time on the board. You've served on the board
for 6 years, and you've been with the school through some really big and difficult transitions. You were a part of the North building getting bought. You played a huge role over the last couple of weeks of getting us back on track, so thank you for that. You were a part of hiring Mr. Bryan. You were a part of hiring Robin, and those were big undertakings. And I know before Dr. Berry came on for the first time, you sort of put your office into the school office. And worked out of here and kept things running in a way that was really, really important. You've made a huge contribution to the school, and you are going to be missed in school. And with that, you had something to say.
No, really? Oh, it's so nice of you guys, thank you.
And it
Wow.
says Montessori Peaks Academy, in gratitude for your tireless commitment and service to our school, and that has the years that you were on the board. And then in addition to that, with your role with getting the North building, we would like to purchase a bench like we have by the front store.
No, oh,
And this plaque is gonna go on it. And it says
I
the
should have worn
Brittany bench.
mascara today. I never wear mascara.
And so we don't have it yet. We're gonna allow the folks in the middle school.
I don't give a budget for myself.
If there's any money left over, we'll get a bench.
So once the construction is done, the folks in the building will have a better idea of exactly what we want it to look like, but we want it to serve just like the one by the front office. And then we're gonna put this plaque on it.
Oh, that's so nice, guys. Thank you.
Thank
It's
you.
very nice. Thank you.
You've leaned on me for
I'm,
years, I don't sit up.
MPA's been like, MPA's been like a second family to me, so I'm gonna miss working with everybody. I'm so happy that this board in this school has a really great board, really great governance, and it's really nice to see as a parent of the community, you know, how you guys all the hard work to do stuff. Keep it up, I know you guys are really dedicated and school's in good hands.
I have to share that when I started here, working with Brittany and Christina, they were kind of running the school for a bit and so on. And, I've never had a hiring process go so fast.
Can you be here in 12 hours? Yes.
Wow.
All right, let's go.
I think I started the first part of May or second week of May. I didn't see him until the second week of August. Brittany's been great. My pleasure.
Can I still call you a question?
You know, I'm gonna go through withdrawal. Yeah, gotta go.
You
Give me a
really
little
have
head
been
for
amazing.
the inside stuff.
I have a bench to sit on.
Yeah, you always have a place to sit.
Yep.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks. With that, you guys can stay or however you need to do it, but I need to. We're gonna talk about summer retreat logistics and what the summer looks like and finish up. But my thought on this process is we typically do, we the board, does an 8-hour retreat. The year before, so 2 months before I joined the board, sometime in September, my understanding was it was a full day thing on a Saturday. Is that incorrect? For like 8 hours. Does that sound right?
Jack minimized, it. Yeah, it was longer, it was 2 days,
Oh, it was 2 days.
and then it went to 1 day.
Okay. So my thought in my head was 8 hours worth of board retreat. We can do that on a Saturday and order lunch. We can do that in 2 4-hour chunks, but we need to schedule some stuff. And here's my thought behind that. People get busy and you schedule more stuff on your calendar. So I'd like people to fill out their calendars and kind of figure out when they're available, when they're taking trips. They already know they're going to be gone. And I wanted to invite Dr. Gary. He told me that he has a board training that he does. And with transition, it's always good, A, to have reminders from people who've been on the board, and B, for new members to get training on
board governance and important pieces for us as we head into the new year. So I'd like to try and get that scheduled. Do people have their calendars? Anybody saying like this weekend was off the table, like a specific weekend? I can tell you for me, the first and second weekends of June are no-goes. I have to take the Girl Scouts camping the second weekend of June, so I need recovery days too.
I'm good 17th, 18th.
I can do the 17th.
Anybody not able to do the 17th of June?
So say what date is that? I do it second and third week of June.
So the 24th.
I feel like the 17th is Father's Day weekend.
The 18th, yeah, the 18th is Father's Day.
Can you do the 24th? Can you do any Saturday in June?
I'm looking right now. The 3rd.
No.
I feel like last year you guys had to do it like.
We ended up doing it in
Yeah,
two.
yeah, it's like on like Tuesday, right? Yeah.
Are Fridays
It's
better?
summer, we're all
Yeah.
going.
Are Fridays better for folks?
Not Fridays. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Best.
And just to, breaking it up, it takes a while to get your mindset into that kind of, if you're gonna do strategic planning, it takes you, as a group, it takes you a lot of time to like settle into that conversation, get your brain thinking in that way. And so if you're after work and you're meeting for 2 hours and you're 2 hours here, it can
It's
be
hard.
not very productive.
Yes, very
It's
much
like a
so.
one day and you push, you go through with a break, you kind of have a chance to,
I mean, he's not available.
I would say just one,
And that's on
even though it's a big, but it's.
But you
get it all
got it
done
going.
and you got it going, yeah.
Yeah.
What about the 30th? We're voting for the 30th back here. June 30th? Yeah.
I'm scheduled
Before
to
the 4th of
be
July.
in Colorado Springs. They may tell me that I don't need to, and that's sort of where they're leaning. You can't do
Last Friday.
last Friday, and you're down on the 23rd. 16th? No, wait, Gary can't do this.
I'm out of town 14th. I just had.
Are you ever home, Justin? Like,
Yeah,
seriously,
I
I know.
know. Literally,
What about
when
the
she said
ninth?
June, I swore
ninth?
hard because I had a conference in June.
I'm gone the night.
Could it be in July?
Gary, are you available in July?
July,
Yes.
Yeah, July would be a good one.
That's
Not
Robert's
first two
contract
Saturdays.
already starts to go.
What about the 8th?
I can't do the,
Me neither.
first of May.
That's also my wife's birthday, so you
All right.
got it.
15th.
All right, 15th, last call.
I can't do the 15th.
Mine
works in
all because,
No.
hey, my. All right, let's
Yeah,
do the 15th of July.
She, Mercedes can't
I'm
do
not here.
that.
I'm not here the 15th.
Going once,
Oh, it's gonna
going
be
twice.
Saturday.
It's on the first 2 weeks.
And you're not back.
No, not till the 17th.
You're gonna do it here or at a different location?
I don't know yet.
Has anybody used Doodle before? We might want to use that. It's in the office, so yeah.
Actually, Calendly's better. I'll set it up.
That might
Yes.
be easier.
Yeah. I mean, I'm literally gonna put,
We need to pull this, yeah.
not every day, but
No, don't put
Well,
every
Friday,
day.
Saturdays, or whatever.
Do we have a weekday that week?
Even if you, like, all commits are coming at like 2 o'clock, we had success with that, like, one Thursday you get up working.
I think that's what we did last year.
yeah,
We like 2 to 6.
Is that better for folks?
yeah. It's better than the
Do
weekend.
it during the week? Is that a preference?
I think it's better
My
than
June
weekend.
is
For the retreat.
What do
Yeah.
you do?
It doesn't matter.
June is not.
Yeah, doing something. The kitchen's closed, he's free.
So I've got, I'll be lobbying the first week of June. I'm out doing a statewide tour this week, the
All
last
right,
week.
I'll give you a couple of dates.
I was just gonna put, I mean, for July, I was just gonna put literally almost every day and then just see, I mean, you just click the ones that work for you and
Right,
then,
you get to pull the majority of them, yeah.
Is the original emphasis to do it in a full day?
I would prefer to do it a full day
Yeah.
with a meal ordered in for us and just
it's like noon to
get to
8.
work, put our brains in the right spot and move forward. So,
Noon to 8?
to me, yeah, and then we would just leave early if we're done.
In case you know it's going to get stuff ready that you want to talk about too.
June is the-
Out of curiosity, July 21st.
It works for me.
That works.
You'll be out?
Yeah, that last week of July, that 24 to 27 block would work for me the best. They know I would consider that.
All right, I'll,
Let me know. Give me the date. I'll put them in.
let's work on it.
Yeah, yeah. What's your,
Right?
Just lay out your demand.
what's yours?
Just tell me what you
What else?
want.
What is it, June 21st?
Yeah,
July 21st? I'm the 30th.
I'm the 22nd.
All right.
On the 29th.
Coordinate a dance.
Definitely cake there.
All right, so we need food and we need cake for July. All right, so let's send out July dates.
Yeah, great.
I would do Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And see what comes up. Okay, so that's how we're gonna do that. Respond to the email when it comes, please. Oh, I believe you. Before you head out, Gary, can I have you sign the board agreements? So if you have not passed it over, pass it out. Did I give you some? Yes.
Are we adjourning?
Almost. I have 4 of them right now. You have yours. You sign it yet? We're gonna get this done tonight. And then I'll take them from there. Gary has to sign those.
Oh, so.
And then I'll take them from there.
Very cute, that was very easy.
There's 3 dates on there.
I just did like correspondence with the date.
The last date is mine.
I got high school.
What?
I know.
What is today? 16?
16.
I'll help with that. 16, 17. You got it.
We're the only person willing to get-
All right.
Every time it's recruited, it's elected.
So, final comments. I do have some training things that I want everybody to do from CLCS, so I'm gonna send those out. Some of their trainings are specific to positions too, and I think they're really helpful. And I'll also send out where we have board training stuff in our board docs. I gave 2 that everybody else has already received to the new folks in your packet. If you guys could take some time to go through those, it's a good where do I start and a refresher. And then we'll finish out this school year and we'll get going with the next with Robin on board. I'm
Sorry
excited.
to be
Becky, thank you also for your service.
Yes, absolutely.
Brittany,
I mean, no.
thank you, but I feel like.
You just take the minutes.
That's the norm. Terrible.
Who would have said something like that? How loud.
You said the quiet part out loud.
Yeah, you're right, or face, says it all.
And then I wanted to do one more shout out. As this year has progressed, there's one person who I've come to with questions, with comments, with thoughts, who has really, really been helpful to me, and that's Beth. So thank you. I appreciate everything that you're doing in the background. Unless somebody else has something else, I'll adjourn. Thank you. Yes, we done this.
Probably lurking.
That's awesome, I love that.
That's true.
We didn't have to vote on adjourning?
Every year.
Do we have to vote? I'm adjourned.